Have you ever caught your reflection in the mirror and paused, wondering, who is that person looking back at me? It's an unsettling moment, familiar yet somehow distant. The face staring back carries the quiet marks of time, lines etched from years of laughter and sorrow, eyes that have seen both joy and disappointment. It's more than just the silver strands of hair or the softening contours of your features. Aging isn't merely a physical transformation, it's the subtle, silent shift in identity that can catch you off guard when you least expect it. This journey through time changes us in ways we often don't notice until one day something feels different, and in that moment you realize growing older isn't just about looking different, it's about becoming different. If you're someone who finds meaning in reflecting on life's deeper truths, or if you're navigating the unpredictable tides of getting older and want to understand it all a little better, don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button now. What's coming next might just change the way you see yourself. Let's begin with the changes you can't ignore, the ones written across your body like a quiet reminder of time's passage. One day you wake up and realize something's off. Your body doesn't recover the way it used to. Remember those carefree nights when you could stay up until dawn, indulge in fast food, and still wake up refreshed and ready to conquer the day? Those days feel like a lifetime ago. Now, a midnight snack might mean waking up with heartburn, and getting a full night's rest feels more like a luxury than a guarantee. Suddenly, stretching isn't a warm-up for a workout. It's a necessity just to move comfortably. Your muscles ache for no reason. Your joints crack like old floorboards, and bending down to tie your shoes comes with a quiet grunt you don't even notice anymore. It's not dramatic, it's subtle, but it's real. The days of springing out of bed and hitting the ground running, they're behind you, and that realization lands with surprising weight. And then there's the energy. Once you could dance till dawn, crash for a few hours, and still show up to work with a smile. Now, just the thought of staying out late makes you tired. Coffee becomes less of a treat and more of a lifeline. Tasks that once felt effortless, carrying groceries, chasing after kids, climbing stairs, now leave you catching your breath and wondering when everything started to feel so heavy. But here's the twist. Your mind hasn't aged in the same way. Inside, you still feel like you. You still have dreams, curiosity, ambition. You want to do more, see more, be more. Yet your body whispers limits you never agreed to. That disconnect between who you feel you are and what your body allows you to be can be deeply frustrating. It's like trying to run full speed with invisible weights tied to your ankles. Then comes the emotional terrain. Quiet, complicated, and often harder to navigate. With age comes wisdom, yes, but also loss. You begin to see the gaps in your life more clearly. Friends slowly drift away, some never to return. Loved ones pass on, and each goodbye leaves an imprint. Dreams you once chased fade quietly into memory, replaced by responsibilities or regret, or just the reality of time slipping by. Each loss, each shift, leaves behind an invisible scar, a crack that doesn't fully heal, no matter how many new memories you try to build over it. You carry these experiences with you like a second skin, and with them comes a new awareness of mortality, of time, of fragility. You hear of someone your age falling ill or passing unexpectedly, and suddenly it hits home. You're not just watching others age, you're living it. It's sobering, it's real, and that brings us to choices. And then there are the regrets, the quiet companions that often grow louder with time. As you get older, you find yourself looking back more often, revisiting the choices that shaped your life. You ask yourself questions that don't always have clear answers. Did I choose the right career? Did I marry the right person? Did I take the chances I should have? Or did fear hold me back? These reflections can spiral into an ocean of what-ifs, and sometimes it's hard not to drown in them. You watch younger people charging forward with passion and ambition, their lives still unwritten. You cheer for them, but deep down, there's a twinge of envy. You can't help but wonder if you played it too safe, if you settled when you should have soared. And yet there's a strange kind of peace in knowing that every decision, every mistake, every detour brought you to this very moment. It's a cocktail of pride and disappointment, gratitude for what you've built, shadowed by the echo of the life you once imagined. Then there's the weight of societal expectations, the invisible checklist you're supposed to have completed by a certain age, a stable career, a house with a picket fence, a picture-perfect family. But what if your path didn't follow that script? What if you're still searching, still figuring things out? The world doesn't always allow space for that. The pressure to have it all together can feel crushing, especially when time feels like it's slipping through your fingers. There's a quiet urgency that whispers, "You're running out of time. Hurry, figure it out." It's a daily tug-of-war between society's demands and your heart's quiet truths. Relationships shift, too. As the years pass, your once bustling circle of friends begins to thin. People move away, start families, drift into different lives. The calls come less frequently. The invitations stop. You start to realize that friendship in adulthood isn't about quantity. It's about rare, enduring bonds. But those deep connections are harder to find now. Gone are the college dorms and endless social circles. Instead, you navigate busy lives and closed-off routines, longing for the kind of friendship that doesn't need explanation or effort, just presence, the kind that makes you feel seen. When those connections are missing, the loneliness can creep in, uninvited and unrelenting, making you question your place in the world and your worth within it. And let's not forget the ever-present comparison game, one made worse by the glossy, curated world of social media. You scroll through your feed and see people who appear to be thriving, traveling the world, landing dream jobs, flaunting picture-perfect families, and glowing with joy. It's easy to forget those are just highlight reels, not the full story. But knowing that doesn't always protect you from the sting. You start to measure your life against theirs, and somehow it always feels like you're coming up short. Why haven't I done more? Why don't I look like that? Am I enough? It's a toxic cycle, one that feeds on insecurity and leaves little room for self-compassion. And yet, through all of this, the regrets, the pressure, the loneliness, the comparisons, you're still here, still trying, still searching for meaning. And that matters more than you might realize. Now let's talk about the silver lining, the part that often goes unnoticed beneath the surface of wrinkles and worries. Yes, getting older brings its fair share of challenges, but it also carries gifts that youth can't offer: clarity, perspective, and wisdom earned through lived experience. You begin to see life differently. What once felt urgent and overwhelming now feels simpler. You start to recognize what truly matters. Not the hustle, not the image, but the quiet, grounding moments that make life feel whole. A hot cup of coffee on a crisp morning, the stillness of a quiet evening, the comfort of a heartfelt conversation. These small, ordinary things take on extraordinary meaning. With time, you grow more intentional. You become choosier about how you spend your time and who you spend it with. You let go of obligations that drain you, and you no longer feel the need to say yes just to please others. There's power in choosing yourself. There's freedom in realizing that happiness doesn't come from checking boxes. It comes from aligning your life with your values. And then there's the most surprising part. You start to make peace with yourself. The insecurities that haunted your younger years begin to lose their grip. You stop trying to be perfect and start learning to love your imperfections, the laugh lines, the quirks, the moments of doubt, You stop comparing and start accepting. You see others not as competitors, but as companions on the same road, just trying to find their way. That kind of self-acceptance doesn't come overnight. It's a journey, one paved with forgiveness, with growth, with the quiet courage of letting go. But when it comes, it brings with it a kind of peace that can't be shaken. And perhaps most importantly, you realize you're not alone. The fears, the regrets, the hopes, they're not yours alone to carry. So many others feel the same way. And when we share our stories, when we open up and connect, we find strength in our shared humanity. Vulnerability becomes a bridge, not a weakness. So as we wrap up this reflection, remember this: aging is not a decline, it's a deepening. It's not always easy, but it's rich with meaning. Every line on your face tells a story. Every ache in your bones is a reminder that you've lived. If this resonated with you, if you saw a piece of yourself in these words, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. This space is for anyone walking this road. Together we'll continue exploring life's raw truths, its highs and lows, and the beauty that lives in between. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, for reflecting, and for sharing this moment with me. Remember, growing older isn't just about the years, it's about the life you've lived, the lessons you've learned, and the connections you've made. Here's to embracing the journey, with courage, compassion, and open hearts. Let's face it together.